Okay, so we are moving on to chapter 6 today, which is called The Frenchman. They were there waiting on the veranda, his mother in her nightgown, his father in his hat, his horse saddled, ready to come after him. "I've set him free," Bertie cried. "I've set him free so he won't ever have to live behind bars." He was sent to his room at once, where he threw himself on his bed and buried his face in his pillow. Day after day his father went out looking for the white lion, but each evening he came back empty-handed and blazing with fury. "What'll I tell the Frenchman when he comes in, hey? Did you for 1 minute think of that, Bertie? Did you? I should strap you. Any father worth his salt would strap you." But he didn't. Bertie spent all day and every day at the fence, or up his tree in the compound, or at his bedroom window, his eyes scanning the veld for anything white moving through the grass. He prayed at his bedside every night until his knees were numb, prayed that his white lion would learn how to kill, would somehow find enough to eat, would avoid the hyenas and other lions too, come to that. Above all, he prayed that he would not come back, at least not until the Frenchman from the circus had come and gone. The day the Frenchman came, it rained, the first rain for months it seemed. Bertie watched him as he stood there, dripping on the veranda, his thumb hooked into his waistcoat pocket, as Bertie's father broke the news that there was no white lion to collect, that he had escaped. That was the moment when Bertie's mother put her hand to her throat, cried out and pointed. The white lion was wandering through the open compound gate, yowling pitifully. Bertie ran to him and fell on his knees and held him. The lion was soaked to the skin and trembling. He was panting with hunger, and so thin that you could see his rib cage. They all helped to rub him down, and then looked on as he ate rapidly. "Incroyable! Magnifique!" said the Frenchman. "And white, just as you said, white like the snow, and tame too. He will be the star of my circus. I shall call him Le Prince Blanc, the White Prince. He will have all he needs, all he wants, fresh meat every day, fresh straw every night. I love my animals, you know. They are my family, and this lion of yours, he will be my favourite son. Have no fear, young man. I promise you that he will never be hungry again." He put his hand on his heart. "As God is my witness, I promise it." Bertie looked up into the Frenchman's face. It was a kind face, not smiling, yet earnest and trustworthy. But even so, it did not make Bertie feel any better. "There, you see," said Bertie's mother. "He'll be happy, and that's all that matters, Bertie, isn't it?" Bertie knew that there was no point in begging. He knew now that the lion could never survive on his own in the wild, that he would have to go with the Frenchman. There was nothing else for it. That night, as they lay in the dark, together side by side, Bertie made him a last promise. "I will find you," he whispered. "Always remember that I will find you. I promise I will." The next morning the Frenchman shook hands with Bertie on the veranda and said goodbye. "He'll be fine. Don't you worry. And one day come to France to see my circus, Le Cirque Merlot. It is the best circus in all of France." When they left, the white lion in a wooden crate rocking from side to side in the back of the Frenchman's wagon, Bertie watched until the wagon disappeared from view. A few months later, Bertie found himself on a ship steaming out of Cape Town, bound for England and school and a new life. As the last of Table Mountain vanished in a heat haze, he said goodbye to Africa and was not at all unhappy. He had his mother with him, for the time being at least. And after all, England was much nearer France than Africa was. Much nearer. Okay, that's the end of that chapter. Quite a short chapter. So question 1, what was Bertie's punishment for releasing the cub? Question 2, what do you think Bertie prayed for each night? Question 3, what 3 clues in the text tell you that the lion was starving? Question 4, what did the Frenchman promise the lion? And question 5, what final promise did Bertie make to the lion? There are your sentence stems. Pause while you answer. Make sure you're answering in full sentences. Okay, so your answers. Bertie's punishment for releasing the cub was that he was sent to his room. I think Bertie prayed each night to ask God to look after the lion cub. The three clues in the text that tell us the lion was starving are that he returned trembling, he was panting with hunger, and he was so thin you could see his rib cage. It also says that he ate ravenously. When they gave him some food, he ate ravenously, which means he was really, really hungry. Okay, question 4. The Frenchman promised the lion fresh meat every day and fresh straw every night. And the final promise, Bertie's final promise to the lion, was that he would find him again. Okay, question 6. What was the weather like when the Frenchman came? Why do you think Michael Morpurgo chose this weather? What does it signify? Okay, so think about that one. Question 7. Do you think Bertie trusts the Frenchman? Why do you think this? Question 8. Why was Bertie not unhappy to say goodbye to Africa? Use the text to help you. Okay, so page 51. That was. Pause the video while you have a go at answering those. Okay, so question 6. The weather, we've got down here, the day the Frenchman came, it rained, the first in months. Okay, so the first part of the question would be, the weather was raining when the Frenchman came. Now, using your skills of reading, and as the reader, and you guys know, because you are all authors in your writing, why do you think Michael Morpurgo chose this weather? Have a think. Okay. I think he chose this weather because it reflects how the boy was feeling. Okay. He was feeling miserable and he was feeling sad and grey and dull. Okay. It reflects how the boy and perhaps the lion are feeling. Okay. If it was a sunny day, and it was nice and bright and sunny, it gives us the impression that the characters might be happy, okay? But the fact that it's raining, it's dull and it's gloomy, makes us think as the reader that the boy is going to be really sad, okay? So he uses it for effect. Does Bertie trust the Frenchman? Okay, it says here, Bertie looked up into the Frenchman's face. It was a kind face, not smiling, yet earnest and trustworthy. Okay, so I think if I was answering this question, I would have answered it. I think that Bertie does trust the Frenchman because he says that he had a kind face, he was trustworthy, and he put his hand on his heart and he promised, we can see that here, he promised to Bertie that he would look after the lion. However, it says here, that still does not make Bertie feel any better. So I would answer that. I think Bertie does trust the Frenchman because of these reasons down here, but it still does not make Bertie feel any better about parting with the lion. Okay. And question 8, why was Bertie not unhappy to say goodbye to Africa? So not unhappy, that means he wasn't feeling sad about it. Okay. It says it, where was it? Here. As he said goodbye to Africa and was not at all unhappy. Okay. So it means actually he was probably quite looking forward to it. Okay. One of the reasons is he had his mother with him. And we know from earlier in the text that he's got a close relationship with his mum. Okay. And the last sentence, the last sentence says England was much nearer France than Africa was, much nearer. Why does that bit make a difference? Think about it. Where's the circus happening? That's right, the circus is happening in France. So Bertie is seeing this as it's part of his trip to get to France, where he will go and he will be able to find the lion again. Okay, so that's one of the reasons why he's not unhappy to be leaving Africa.
Hi Class 4, I'm just going to go over the answers from yesterday's Do It and Secure It. So, you were asked to find the duration of the TV programmes. So, story time started at 6:30 in the morning and finished at 7:30. So, hopefully you worked out that the duration was 1 hour. Dennis the Explorer, it started at 3 o'clock and it finished at 6:15. So I'm hoping that you managed to work out the duration was 3 hours and 15 minutes. The football show started at 12, finished at 2:10. So the duration was 2 hours and 10 minutes. An adventure started at 10, finished at 10:45. So the duration was 45 minutes. Question 2 said Emily reads for 55 minutes. Circle when she swam. Okay, hopefully you worked out that it was between 8:25 and 9:20 because you got 35 minutes from 8:25 to get to 9. Add an extra 20 on for 9:20, and we've got a duration of 55 minutes. Sorry guys, trying to underline that. There we go. The Do It Extra challenge yesterday was a little bit tricky, so I'm going to go through it step by step, and hopefully if you had a go at it, this makes sense. So Eva starts playing her piano at 11:30, and she plays for 45 minutes. So stop reading there. So she starts at 11:30, and she plays for 45 minutes. So at that point, it would have been 12:15. Okay. So she then had a half an hour break. Okay. So that takes her to 12:45. And then she played for a further 15 minutes. That would have taken her to 1 o'clock. So hopefully you all got that. If you didn't, don't worry, because it was a bit wordy in the word problem. If you want me to go through it with you slower or anything else, just email me. I'm more than happy to do that. And then you'll secure it yesterday. Kiara and Nico are waiting for their bus. Kiara said, my bus took half an hour and 7 minutes to arrive. And Nico said, my bus took 7 lots of 5 minutes to arrive. Whose bus took the longest? Explain your answer. So Kiara, hers was 30 minutes plus 7. So she took 37 minutes for her bus to arrive. And Nico was 7 lots of 5 minutes. So his was 7 times 5. Which is, of course, 35 minutes. So it was Kiara's bus who took the longest by 2 minutes. Today, we're going to start exploring how to find the start and the end times. So yesterday, you were given those and you had to find your duration. And today, you're going to be given your duration and one of them, and you've got to find the other. Fingers crossed, we're going to be great at this. Just going to start off with a quick reminder of yesterday though. You've got the start and the end times. Can you match the duration? Pause me while you have a go and then come back when you're ready. Okay, so the first one, the start time was 11:20 and it finished at 12. So hopefully you all worked out that that should have matched to 40 minutes. The next one was 3:10 and it finished at 4:20. So that was our 30 minutes. And finally, we've got 6:30 till 7:05, and that was our 25 minutes. Okay, guys? Okay, so a 40-minute TV program starts at the time shown. What time does it finish? So it's a 40-minute TV show and it starts at 4:10. So I've drawn a number line here with 4, 10 on, and I've done them in 10-minute blocks. Now, I'm going to jump 20 minutes to take me to 4:30, okay? And then I'm going to jump a further 20 minutes, because 20 and 20 is 40, which is going to take me to 4:50. So the answer is 4:50. I'd like you to have a quick go now in your books at using the method of the number line to work out the end time of a 25-minute lesson starting at 2:15 p.m. Okay, so if we've got 2:15, I'm going to jump 15 minutes because I know that's going to take me to 2:30. All right, I'm then going to have 10 minutes left of my 25 minutes because 10 add 15 is 25. So I'm going to jump, a 10 minutes. So I would find that my end time was 2:40. Okay, hopefully we got that. We're going to do another one just in case. Okay, so I left home at 4:05 and jogged for 1 hour 5 minutes. You need to circle the time that I arrived back home. Obviously, you can't circle it, but you can write it in your books or in your head. If you want to use your number line method, do so, and then I'll go through the answers. Okay, so we're going to jump an hour, and that is going to take us to 5:05 p.m. And then we've got an extra 5 minutes to jump here, and that's going to take us to 5:10 p.m. Now we're going to look at if you're given the end time and you need to find the start time. So we can still use the number line method, but we just need to do it counting backwards. So, for example, this one says, I finished running at 3:05 and had been running for 45 minutes. What time did I start running? So we're going to go backwards. We're going to go back 5 minutes. We're going to take away 5 minutes, and that's going to take us to 3 o'clock, okay? Then we are going to take away half an hour, so take away 30 minutes, and that's going to take us to 2:30. And then we need a further 10 minutes, so we're going to take that away, take away 10, and that takes us to 2:20. So the start time was 2:20. Okay, so you can do it on the number line as well. And then if you want to check your answer, you could do it at 2:20 at the start and count on the 45 minutes. So you'll do it today. You've got to find the missing start and end times in the table. And then you've got which activity ends the latest. So you've got gymnastics starts at 3:30 and lasts 1 hour 15 minutes. Football starts at 4:05 and lasts 45 minutes. Which one finishes last? Okay. If you're looking at this and you're thinking, I'm really confused, I've not gone through it enough, send me an email and I'll go through it a little bit more with you. Not a problem at all. Good luck. If you whiz through that and you want a bit of an extra challenge, you've got your Do It Extra challenge here. You've got to match the start times and duration to the correct end times. Good luck. And you'll secure it today. Sean put his cookies in the oven at 14:45. They need to bake for 45 minutes. Sean says, I know that the cookies will be ready at 14:90 because 45 at 45 equals 90. Is he correct? Explain your reasoning. Okay, guys, best of luck today, and I will go through the answers with you tomorrow. Bye.
Hi everyone, welcome to your writing session for today. We are going to be kicking off this session with our warm-up activity. So remembering that we're working on verb tense. So we're looking at present tense and past tense. So I've given you 2 present tense sentences today. My dad is weeding the garden path and the sun is shining brightly. What I'd like you to do is pause the video, turn it into the past tense. Remembering if you want to, you can use the word yesterday. So my dad is weeding the path becomes yesterday my dad. Have a little go, see what you come up with and come back to me with the answers. Okay, how did you get on there? Let's have a little look, see if you managed to do this. So we've got my dad is weeding the garden path, which is my dad weeded the garden path. You might have done that past progressive tense that we were working on, and you might have put my dad was weeding the garden path, which would also be correct. We've got the sun is shining brightly to the sun shone brightly. Now that was your tricky one for today because that is not our regular verb, it's our irregular verb. So shining becomes shone. So well done if you managed to catch both of those today. Really good going. So like we were working on yesterday, we're going to be thinking about our own information texts today, and we're going to be starting to plan our own information text. We're going to be looking at making notes particularly today. So you're going to research some facts and information, and your text is going to be about lions, particularly the white lion cub in the butterfly lion text, but also you can do it on any lions that you wish to. You're going to be reading some information texts. We're going to be making notes about interesting facts which we can include in our reports, and we're going to organise our information into paragraphs so we make it easier for the reader to navigate and for us to write when we come to that tomorrow. So first of all, we're going to have a look at a text. So this information comes from the website that I'm going to get you to look at later, and I searched for Wales. whereas you're going to search for lions, okay? And we're going to be researching and planning our own information text today. So we're going to have a read through of the information, and then we're going to spot which bits we want to include in our notes, and then I'm going to show you how to write notes about this as well, okay? So, what is a whale? Whales are the world's biggest animals. They look like fish, but are warm-blooded mammals that breathe air with their lungs. They have flippers instead of arms or front legs, which they swim with. They also have a thick layer of fat under the skin called blubber. This keeps them warm in the cold water. Like most mammals, whales give birth to live young. All mammals suckle their young with milk. There are two kinds of whale, toothed whales and baleen whales. Toothed whales have teeth in their mouth, while baleen whales have rows of horny plates in the place of teeth, called baleen. Toothed whales belong to a group that includes dolphins and porpoises. Okay? So let's try and spot a few interesting facts that we might want to take into our own writing when we come to write about this. So I think a really interesting fact is that they're the world's biggest animals. I think we've got to conclude that. I think that's really engaging for our reader. I also think that I need to know that they're mammals, and I like this idea that they're being warm-blooded mammals. I blow air with their lungs. I think I'm going to pick flippers. I also want to include this information about blubber. I would like to include toothed whales and baleen whales. I would like to include that they are the same family as dolphins and porpoises, and that they've got a real powerful tail. I think I've picked that out of the diagram as well. Okay, so now let's look at how we turn this bit of reading that we've done and these facts that I've highlighted here into some notes. Okay, so now we're on to writing our notes up. So it's really, really important when you're writing your notes today that you don't just copy out all of the facts and information from the text that you are reading, okay? Because we want it to be your writing and the way that you present it, not what you've read. So what we want today is just a few words, a few phrases to help us. So if I have a look at this here, so blubber is one of the things that I want to talk about. Okay, so I might write down the word blubber, being a key bit of technical vocabulary that we were looking at before. And it's something that I want to explain, blubber. But I'll need to know what that means when I come to write about it. So it's a thick layer of fat under skin, okay? So I don't write down all of the words in the sentence. I don't write it down as a whole sentence, but I do include the bits of information that I need, okay? And remembering from the picture, I had that they had powerful flippers. I'm going to put biggest animal. I'm then going to go for the fact that they're mammals, and that means that they are warm-blooded. But it also tells me that they breathe air and that they have babies. They give birth to live young, so I'm going to write those as part of my facts as well. Breathe air, have babies. I think that will help me when I come to write my text tomorrow. And I'm also going to put family is dolphins. And I'm going to check this spelling because it's not a word that I know, porpoises. And it's really important that I copy those technical words down correctly because I want to be able to spell them correctly when I put them into my own text, okay? So from this whole section that I've got here, these are the facts that I've written down to help me with my notes when I'm writing them up tomorrow. So blubber, thick layer of fat under skin, powerful flippers, biggest animal, mammals, warm-blooded, breathe air, have babies, family, dolphins and porpoises. And that's all the information I'm going to take from this section. I'm then going to go back onto another section and come up with some notes from that section as well. Okay, let's go back and find out what your task then is for today. Okay, so let's have a look what we're going to want you to do today. So, like I said to you at the start, you are going to be writing your own information text tomorrow, and that information text is going to be all about lions. So what I'd like you to do today is you're going to go to this website. So down here, www.dkfindout.com, and I'd like you to search for lions for me, okay? So what I'm going to ask you to do in terms of make your notes is to grab yourself a piece of paper and fold it into 4, okay, into 4 quarters, and then within each quarter I want you to think about what you want to find out. What are your titles going to be? So you could use these ones: what do lions look like, what do lions eat, where do lions live, are lions endangered? Or you could find out that actually you want to find out how lions live, or baby lions, or you want to look at something completely different. So you decide what your 4 are going to be, put those onto your piece of paper, head to the DK website and read your information, and then I'd like you to make your notes just like I made my notes. So just keywords, facts, information, not whole sentences, but gather all of the information that you're going to need so that we can write our information text tomorrow, okay? So this is your task for today: to fold a piece of paper into quarters, visit the DK Kids website and research information on lions, decide upon your 4 sections of information text and write 1 in each of your parts on your piece of paper, and then write your facts as notes in the correct section of your grid to help you write your information text tomorrow. So you're going to pause this video now. Go ahead and find out all of your information, and then you can come back when you're ready to find out more about your connected curriculum for today, okay? So go to this website now, www.dkfindout.com. Enjoy! Okay, so I hope you've managed to get lots and lots of facts and information about lions ready for your report tomorrow. If you didn't get all of your information from DK Find Out, if you got it from other books or sources of information or anywhere else you wanted to look, then that's absolutely fine as well, as long as tomorrow you are ready to write your non-chronological report on lions, okay? So now on to our connected curriculum for today. We're now on to Thursday, so we've got one more day of our coastlines project. Remembering we're finding out about why we have different shapes of coastlines in the UK. There's an essential task, so there's some videos to watch, there's some reading to do linked to those essential tasks, and then if you want to do something extra, you could write us our newspaper report, you could create a model, you could do an explanation text for us, or even an explaining video if you'd like to, or you could write this letter to the Prime Minister about sea defences. Whatever you decide to do, please do share it with us. We can't wait to see what you've been working on this week and how you found all of the work on coastlines. Have a brilliant, brilliant end of the day, and we'll see you with more learning tomorrow. Bye bye, Year 3 and 4.